Every race weekend, Max Verstappen continues to pull off the unimaginable. Whether it's storming from the back of the grid or showing off his skill in tricky wet conditions, he never fails to impress. So, here are 7 of the craziest races that highlight Verstappen's brilliance. The 2016 Brazilian Grand Prix at Interlagos stands as a defining moment in Max Verstappen's career, as he showcased his exceptional skill in treacherous conditions. As the race began, heavy rain pounded the circuit, creating a chaotic and unpredictable environment. Verstappen, then just 19 years old and in his second F1 season, started from 4th on the grid. The challenging weather led to multiple safety car periods and even a red flag stoppage, reshuffling the field repeatedly. The turning point came on lap 28, when Verstappen pitted for intermediate tyres. This proved to be a miscalculation as the rain intensified, forcing him to pit again for full wet tyres. On the main straight, he nearly lost control due to slippery conditions, but managed to recover.
Max Verstappen! Oh, Max Verstappen! Can he keep it out of the barriers? Just!
This dropped him down to 16th place with just 14 laps remaining, seemingly ending any hope for a strong finish. What followed was nothing short of miraculous. Verstappen embarked on a relentless charge through the field, demonstrating otherworldly car control and overtaking prowess. He moved past car after car, often taking unconventional lines and finding grip where others struggled. His most memorable move came when he saved a heart-stopping half-spin at the final corner, barely brushing the wall before continuing his charge. Verstappen's audacious overtakes included passes on seasoned champions like Sebastian Vettel and his own Red Bull teammate Daniel Ricciardo. By the time the checkered flag fell, Verstappen had climbed all the way to 3rd place. His performance drew comparisons to legendary wet weather drives by Ayrton Senna and Michael Schumacher. 2018 Austrian Grand Prix. As the Formula One circus rolled into the Styrian Mountains, anticipation was high. This was Red Bull's home track, and the grandstands were awash with a sea of orange, the devoted Dutch fans who had crossed borders to support their hero. Qualifying had placed Verstappen in 4th position, a solid but not spectacular starting spot. Yet, as the lights went out on Sunday, it quickly became clear that the young Dutchman had no intention of staying there. The opening lap was nothing short of electrifying. Verstappen was not here to make up the numbers, he was here to win. Fortune, often said to favour the brave, smiled on Verstappen that day. Lap 13, Valtteri Bottas' Mercedes slowed to a halt, promoting the Red Bull driver to 2nd place. But the real turning point came shortly after, when race leader Lewis Hamilton encountered issues of his own. In a strategic blunder that would prove costly, Mercedes opted not to pit Hamilton during the ensuing virtual safety car period. This decision handed Verstappen the net lead of the race, a lead he would not relinquish. As Hamilton's Mercedes eventually ground to a halt, Verstappen found himself with a commanding 30-second lead over the rest of the field. From that point on, it was a masterclass in race management. Verstappen controlled the pace with the maturity of a seasoned champion, preserving his tyres while maintaining a gap that his rivals could not hope to bridge. Max Verstappen crossed the line with a gap of more than 60 seconds. That's mind-blowing. 2022 Hungarian Grand Prix. The Hungaroring, often likened to a full-scale go-kart track, is notorious for its tight, twisting layout that makes overtaking a Herculean task. Yet, it was on this challenging circuit that Verstappen would orchestrate one of his most impressive comebacks. The weekend began with frustration as power unit issues in qualifying relegated Verstappen to 10th on the grid. However, as the lights went out on Sunday, it became clear that the reigning world champion had no intention of letting his starting position dictate his race. From the moment the cars surged forward, Verstappen was a man on a mission. He moved through the field with surgical precision, exploiting every opportunity to gain positions. Red Bull's strategy team, always in sync with their star driver, played their part to perfection. They orchestrated a series of well-timed pit stops, enabling Verstappen to leapfrog Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso through the undercut. This strategic brilliance, combined with Verstappen's blistering pace, saw him climb to 5th place by the race's midpoint. However, the drama was far from over. In a heart-stopping moment that had fans holding their breath, Verstappen executed a pass on Charles Leclerc, only to lose control and perform a complete 360-degree spin. Max quickly gathered the car, refocused, and set about hunting down Leclerc once more. The defining moment came on lap 51 of 70. Verstappen, having clawed his way back through the field after his spin, seized the lead. From there, he was unstoppable. He crossed the finish line nearly 8 seconds clear of his nearest rival, turning what could have been a damage limitation exercise into a stunning victory. 2022 Belgian Grand Prix. Now, just a few weeks later, at the iconic Spa-Francorchamps circuit, Verstappen would face an even greater challenge. Despite setting the fastest time in qualifying, engine component changes meant he would start from 14th on the grid. The Belgian Grand Prix, with its high-speed straights and challenging corners, promised a different kind of test than Hungary. As the lights went out, Verstappen wasted no time in making his presence felt. His start was nothing short of explosive. By the end of the first lap, Verstappen had already surged to 8th place. His ability to find gaps where none seemed to exist, coupled with his bravery in high-speed sections, left both fans and fellow drivers in awe. The Red Bull's straight-line speed advantage was evident, but it was Verstappen's skill in managing this power through Spa's sweeping corners that truly set him apart. By lap 12, Verstappen had found his way through the field to take the lead from his teammate Sergio Perez. However, the race was far from won. A well-executed pit stop strategy saw him briefly lose the lead, only to hunt down and overtake Carlos Sainz with clinical efficiency.
Guess what? The DRS has been powerful. Guess what? I rather think Max Verstappen is about to retake the lead, and this time not because of any pit stop for the Ferrari, but because of the pace of the Red Bull. Here it comes, Max Verstappen into the Combe chicane.
Once in clean air, Verstappen's pace was simply unmatched. He pulled away from the field with metronomic consistency, laying down lap times that seemed impossible given the fuel load and tyre wear. As he crossed the finish line, the gap to second place was a staggering 17 seconds. That's a lifetime in Formula One terms. 2017 United States Grand Prix. The Circuit of the Americas, COTA, in Austin, Texas, has been a stage for some of Verstappen's most dramatic performances, and the 2017 race was no exception. Starting from a lowly 16th position due to power unit penalties, the odds were stacked against the young Dutch driver. However, what followed was a masterclass in overtaking and race management that would leave fans and competitors alike in awe. From the moment the lights went out, Verstappen was on the move. By lap 21, in a testament to his relentless pace and strategic insight, Verstappen found himself leading the race. However, the Red Bull team had a different plan in mind. On lap 37, they made a bold gamble, calling Verstappen in for a second pit stop. This decision dropped him down the order, but armed him with fresh tyres for a final charge. The last 19 laps of the race were a spectacle of pure racing brilliance. Verstappen, now armed with a faster car on fresher rubber, set about hunting down the leaders. He quickly dispatched Valtteri Bottas for 4th place with 4 laps remaining, setting his sights on Kimi Raikkonen's Ferrari in 3rd. As the final lap began, Verstappen was right on Raikkonen's tail. In a move that had the crowd on their feet, he made a daring pass on the inside of turn 17, just 3 corners from the finish line.
Now Max Verstappen, if Kimi is trying to hold him up, has got the opportunity, goes down the inside, Verstappen is ahead of Kimi Raikkonen.
The Red Bull garage erupted in celebration, believing they had witnessed one of the greatest comeback drives in recent F1 history. However, controversy struck in the cool-down room. Race stewards deemed Verstappen's pass illegal, ruling that he had cut the inside of the corner to gain an advantage. The decision relegated him back to 4th place, much to the disappointment of fans who had witnessed his incredible charge through the field. 2016 Spanish Grand Prix. The decision to swap Verstappen with Kvyat for the Spanish Grand Prix was bold, unexpected and risky, yet it was a gamble that would pay off in spectacular fashion. Arriving at the circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, Verstappen faced a daunting challenge. With minimal preparation time, he was thrust into the cockpit of the RB12, a car he had never raced before. The complexity of modern Formula One machinery is staggering, with countless buttons, switches and settings that drivers must master to extract maximum performance. Verstappen, however, approached this challenge with a calm demeanour that belied his youth. As the lights went out on race day, fate seemed to intervene. The dominant Mercedes duo of Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg collided in the opening laps, eliminating both from contention. This twist of fortune opened the door for an unlikely victor, but it was Verstappen who seized the moment with both hands. Verstappen, barely out of his teens, found himself leading a Grand Prix for the first time in his career, yet Verstappen remained unflappable. Lap after lap, he defended his position with the poise of a seasoned champion. When the checkered flag fell, history was made.
old. Max Verstappen wins a Formula One Grand Prix, wins the Spanish Grand Prix, and is the youngest driver ever.
Unbelievable, Max. Unbelievable. Max Verstappen.
Max Verstappen, at 18 years and 228 days old, became the youngest Grand Prix winner in Formula One history. The paddock was stunned, the fans ecstatic, and a new star was born. 2023 Spanish Grand Prix. The Spanish Grand Prix at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya would prove to be a demonstration of total dominance, resulting in Verstappen's third career Grand Slam. A Grand Slam in Formula One is a rare and prestigious achievement, requiring a driver to secure pole position, lead every lap of the race, win the race, and set the fastest lap. It's a feat that demands perfection, from lights out to checkered flags, and Verstappen delivered just that. From the moment qualifying began, Verstappen was in a league of his own. He secured pole position with a lap time that left his rivals scratching their heads, wondering how to close the gap. As the race began on Sunday, Verstappen made a perfect start, immediately asserting his dominance over the field. Lap after lap, Verstappen extended his lead, managing his pace and tyre wear with the precision of a seasoned champion. The gap to second place grew so large that at one point, Verstappen was able to make a pit stop and still retain the lead over his teammate Sergio Perez. What made this performance even more impressive was the context. The Spanish Grand Prix is traditionally a race where teams bring significant upgrades, often closing performance gaps that had opened up earlier in the season. Yet Verstappen's dominance suggested that Red Bull Racing had not only maintained their advantage, but possibly even extended it. As he crossed the finish line, Verstappen had not only won the race, but had led every single lap and set the fastest lap time. It was his third Grand Slam, putting him on par with the legendary Nelson Piquet in the record books. Now, want to see more moments when Max Verstappen did the unthinkable? Then you definitely need to check out this video.